We all knew for the Seattle Mariners that this was going to be a very difficult game, but it didn't have to be this way. And they had a 4-1 lead, but then they blew it, and the Mariners now lose 7-5. Now, before we get into this, hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification. And now let's get in straight to this video. So right off the bat in the first inning, so we knew that this was going to be a tough game because Bryan Woo was not going to be available. The Mariners mysteriously just scratched him right at the last minute. This probably should have been a little bit better planned if you knew that Bryan Woo wasn't going to make it or something. I don't know. I don't think it was a good decision because you're basing it on wear and tear on something that might happen. So it's that scarcity mindset that's costing the Mariners this entire season. But anyways, the Mariners got off to a quick start with scoring 3 runs, an RBI walk by Dominic Canzone, and a 2 RBI single by Ty France. But Tampa Bay did respond real quickly as Thornton was the starter for today, as we knew this was going to be a tough game. But fortunately, Julio Rodriguez blasted a home run, and it was the most confusing home run that I have ever seen. It hit like the top of the roof or the dome, and it just bounced out, and they just called it a home run. And the pitching was pitching very well. First, you had Trent Thornton pitching, well, with the exception of the first inning, he pitched very well. But then he was yanked, in my opinion, just a little too early. I think he should have had one more inning in him to save the arms in the future. But then you brought in Luke Weaver, who pitched lights out well until the bottom of the 5th, where he gave up the 2 runs. And it was starting to become very clear that Luke Weaver just had to go. But then unfortunately, Scott Servais kept him in again for the 6th inning, and luckily he didn't give up a run. And then eventually Brian O'Keefe was to hit his first home run in his major league career, but then the umpire did unfortunately overturn the call, so he was forced to stay at second, and the Mariners did not score. Then going into the bottom of the 7th inning, you still had Luke Weaver still pitching, and I was like, he already gave up 2 runs. It's time for the bullpen to just completely just mop it up. And then he gives up a run, and then little too late, Scott Servais finally pulls him out for Gabe Speier. But then once again, he gives up a run. But other than that, Gabe Speier did pitch okay. At least it did get out of the inning really fast. And then fortunately, the top of the 8th inning, the Mariners did tie off a lucky wild pitch. And that was a good thing that Sam Haggerty did extend that inning by hitting a single, because Eugenio Suarez, there was no way he could have scored from first alone. It's a good thing he got to third base. And then they failed to score in the 9th inning, and Justin Topa in the bottom of the 8th was pitching extremely well. And then top of the 9th inning, the Mariners failed to score again, and you just felt that something was just not going to go right with this game. And eventually, in the bottom of the 9th inning, Scott Servais makes another boneheaded decision by pulling Justin Topa, who pitched a very easy 1-2-3 for Taylor Saucedo. Now, the problem I had with it in the beginning was you just go with the hot hand. Just let him pitch one more inning so you can save the arms in the future and for tomorrow, because now that you did save your arms, I guess, to be fair, for the likes of Matt Brash and Andres Munoz, who I don't think they were that good. But you should have just tried, because when you had the lead, you should have at least tried to play to win this game, not try to plan for tomorrow. And that's the thing that Scott Servais does. He tends to plan too much in ahead, where he's in complete narrow vision, where he completely forgets about the next game. Like, I would have rather take the chance to win this game, use your bullpen. Not that I am a fan of that, but at that situation, you didn't really have a choice, but you shouldn't have left Luke Weaver in so long, because he already gave up the 2 runs. So it's not about that I was upset with him leaving Luke Weaver in for too long. It was because he was already done and gave up 2 runs. And the longer he pitches, especially when he's already been drilled, then he's already going to get figured out. And he did. And then in the bottom of the 9th inning, Taylor Saucedo gave up a 2-run home run. It looked like it was going to be another 1-2-3 inning, but then gave up the 2-run home run. So it comes down to this. I think it was all just bullpen pitching management incompetence by Scott Servais, and then he pissed away basically everyone. He pinch hit Josh Rojas away. He took the job away from Dominic Canzone, who were the clearly superior players when the Mariners clearly needed to score more runs. But then he just went with the matchups. But here's the thing. If the players are less skilled for the player that you're using as a pinch hitter, then matchups don't matter. So overall, the other issue is too, Toronto won the game. Then you got Texas with a very easy game against the A's. And then you've got Houston, you would think that would beat San Diego because they're tanking at this point. So I don't know. But the Mariners really better get it ready. They better win because they cannot afford to lose a third straight series because that's just not going to get it done in order to make the playoffs. And I can just totally see that the Mariners could easily miss the playoffs this season. So those are my thoughts. And I will say this, if Scott Servais does not continue, if he continues to do decisions like this, it's going to cost him the playoffs. And I know that he's really good friends with Jerry Dipoto, but if he, and I mean, let me restart. So if Mariners don't make the playoffs, and I know that Jerry Dipoto and Scott Servais are really good friends, but if the Mariners don't make the playoffs this year, knowing that they made the playoffs last year and easily could have made it to the World Series, I think Scott Servais should be fired. You fire the man, bring in Joe Maddon. I think he would be the much superior manager. Can't be any worse than Scott Servais. But those are my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the comments on what you think, how this game went, and what you think September's going to hold for the Mariners. And once again, thank you for watching.